Good evening and welcome back to Not All the Things. Here we are on this first Wednesday in April, and our discussion tonight was inspired by a conversation that I was having with a girlfriend, and I need you to bear with me just a little bit. We were talking about bringing lunch to work and whether or not she should bring her leftovers, she should bring the last piece of bread, and I was like, are we really having this conversation? Are we really struggling to think about whether or not she should bring leftovers and have some lunch when she had said her family doesn't even eat leftovers? They don't even like leftovers. So I was just in my head going, I cannot believe that we are so conditioned as women and women of color that we put everyone else first, our families, our jobs, our communities. And you know what? I was like, listen, selfish is not a bad word. And it really made me like stop and reflect and say, in fact, being a little selfish is necessary. And it's necessary for our well being and for our growth. And so today's conversation is going to be me sharing just 3 reasons why I think it's really okay and necessary for us to be a little selfish. To my returnees, it's good to see you. Glad you're in the space today. If you are new here, I'm glad you found me, and I hope that you stick around. And just note that on my channel, I talk about work life commitment, wellness, um, and wine. And today I'm having a Chardonnay. And so if you don't have a glass, go get yourself a glass. Yeah, I'm having a buttery Chardonnay. It's got some little fruit tones, undertones. Oh yeah, it smells good. It's very citrusy. And I won't keep you long, but it's nice to have a little glass to share with each other while we are having this conversation. If you are inclined, hit the like button. If there's something that I say that you think could be helpful to another sister friend, please share it. And know I am trying to get to 200 subscribers. So if each of you share it with one friend, I know we can get there. So thank you for that. So the first reason that being selfish is okay is that self preservation is a form of resistance. And we are constantly expected to be strong and to be caregivers and to be the problem solvers. But let me tell you, that weight can be a lot. And so, if we just can't do it, it's got to be okay. And although we love our people and we want to be there to take care of everyone, if we're not taking care of ourselves, then who else will? And so, as much as I find this to be difficult to do, the idea that we are being a little selfish with our time, being a little selfish with our energy, and being a little selfish with how we guard ourselves, our peace, I don't think is neglect. I don't think it's neglectful. I think it's survival. And so I've said before that rest is resistance. And I find it hard to get good rest, but I am really trying. I'm trying to be honest with myself that I need to slow down. I am running right now. I am in straight pyramid mode. I am going, going, going. But I see an end and I will be resting soon. And so, this little bit of selfishness where you can prioritize yourself, I think is okay. And I think we have to allow ourselves and to deal with the guilt because sometimes when we say, oh no, we're going to take some time for ourselves, there's just a little bit of guilt that creeps in that keeps us from, you know, really doing that for ourselves, really making the time to uh, preserve our energy. And so I'm going to say that the very first way that we can be a little selfish is by offering ourselves some self-preservation because we need to. Number 2, you deserve to pour into yourself first. And I am speaking to me with this one. You deserve to pour into yourself first. What do they say when you're on the plane? Put your mask on before you put someone else's mask on, right? If you have a child with you, yet we don't really live like that. How can we pour into others when we are running on empty? It's impossible. And so, being a little selfish to take care of ourselves is exactly what we need. I know you've heard the phrase, I know everyone knows this phrase, that you can't pour from an empty cup. But we are constantly trying to pour when the cup is may not be empty, but is low. It may be cracked. It may be all kinds of ways off-centered, off-kiltered, has a leak, has a crack. And so we can't do that, right? And we have to be able to invest in ourselves and pour into ourselves. Find time to rest. I've said it and I've said it before. It's a broken record. Find time for self-care. It may seem like, I don't know, it's a small thing. The other day I came home, my feet were killing me. I rarely run water and soak my feet. I just had to soak my feet. I just was like, damn, I'm tired. I have to sit here and do this. And also, whatever offers you personal growth. If you read, again, if you journal, if you want to take a class, if you want to find something to do that fills your cup, that makes you feel good, then I think you definitely need to do that. And so being selfish allows you to do that. And it's okay to do that. It also doesn't mean that we care less about other people. And that is the conversation, the self-talk that I'm giving myself. You know, if I take this time for me, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I don't want to pour into you, but I'm empty and I need to refill. So, the second reason that we definitely need to be a little bit selfish is that we deserve to pour into ourselves first. And thirdly, being selfish teaches people how you want to be treated. And I know that we want to set the standards for how people treat us. If we are constantly putting ourselves last, then that's how people will assume we want to be. And that's not true, right? But when we start to prioritize ourselves and when we start to teach others that, these are my needs, I'm going to get my nails done, I'm going to relax a little bit on this couch, do a little bit of binging if I choose to do that. When I just take care of me, then they understand that I value myself. At least I hope they understand that. And if they don't, they could at least wonder or question, but I have to begin to prioritize me. And that is not something that comes natural for women of color, especially if you're holding down the family, whatever your family makeup is. But if you are leading in some way, the idea that you are putting yourself first and that you are saying no doesn't make you a difficult person. If you are setting boundaries, it doesn't make you unkind. It makes you self-respecting. It makes you say, I matter to me. And so I hope you understand that I got to put me first. And hopefully you are modeling for folks how you need to be treated. And so this one, I had to rework in my journal, but I hope you all understand that when you set some boundaries, you can then see some changes And I would say that's my call to action to you. What's the boundary that you want to set? What's the selfishness that you want to do for yourself this week? To like pour into you and to love on you and to teach people how you want to be treated. And for the bonus, and this one is one that I don't think we realize, but young women are always watching. Young women and young men. Let me just back that up. If you have children, and even if you don't have children, but if you have young people in your lives, folks who are connected to you in some way, the way we show up for ourselves and the way we set boundaries and have our own personal joy and show that we have some non-negotiables, we begin to create change for younger women and for women who are watching us and who say, damn, I want to do that. I want to be able to get with my girls and hang out and make the time for myself. I want to be a little selfish. Some of us would say a lot of the younger folks, they already know how to do it. Actually, they're leading us. They are all about rest and resistance. They are not going to work themselves to death. But I would also say that there are folks who are watching, and they are always watching how we are moving in our spaces. And by showing up just a little bit selfish for ourselves, we begin to create a future that is different, a future that shifts, that shows we're trying to thrive and not just survive, and that we're redefining what it means, right? For ourselves and for folks who are watching. So I think that's the bonus for sure. And I do hope that one of these things resonates and that you can just take a minute this week and say, what am I going to do for self? And be okay with it. And if you want to take the leftovers, damn it, take the leftovers. Ain't nobody eating them anyway. You know you the one who cooked it. You the one who's going to eat it. They're not looking for that. They don't even care. But we are in that conversation. We are giving ourselves that narrative about what it is we have to do because it's a part of our identity as women. And we really need to unpack that. And I'm really always speaking to myself when I come here, but I hope that I am sharing a message that speaks to you too. And know that we can be a little selfish and it's okay. So, and in this conversation, I finished my drink, but I'll get that last drop and I will say, cheers. Cheers to you. Hoping that you all will be with me next week. I'm going to have a live. I'm going to be looking for educators to be in this space. We're going to be talking about educator well-being. And I do hope that one of these thoughts resonated enough for you to be like, yes, girl, I am going to be selfish and I am not going to be doing all of the things. And I'll see you next week. Bye.